Hey, what's up, everyone? I picked up something pretty interesting today. Just thought I'd show you. I went to my local knife shop and I picked up a Pro-Tech. And the Pro-Tech I picked up kind of surprised me. It is the Pro-Tech Malibu. So, pretty excited to pick this up. This is kind of one of the few Pro-Techs that is not an automatic knife. If you're into knives, you probably have heard about this knife. This is the first time I've actually held one in hand. I've seen lots of YouTube videos and read a lot about it. It's quite a knife. Basically, the big thing with this knife is that it is a flipper, and it has a button lock, so it has a very, very good action on it. Just got this today, so still breaking it in, but very nice. Has a stone-washed blade, Tonto. Nicely finished. And then we see those kind of cool buttons there. Well, actually, the pivot and the button. I really like that. It kind of has that cartwheel effect of like an uncirculated coin. And as the coin guy, I kind of appreciate that. Look at that. It's like mesmerizing. Love that. The scales are blue anodized aluminum. Not too much going on design-wise. It does kind of come in here for your index finger, and it was machined kind of down. I think you can see that pretty well. This way it's a little more comfortable and doesn't really kind of have edges that bite into your fingers or at all. And we did the same thing on this end. We have a pocket clip, which is pretty stout, and this is a tip-up carry. All the screws are recessed very, very nicely, as you'd expect. A little bit of texturing here where the two halves are joined. Pocket clip is also recessed, as you can tell. You can't see any of those screws popping up in the pocket clip to mess up your pocket and ruin your pants. And then right here, you can attach a lanyard if you like. We have that opening. So that's a nice little feature there. Okay, and let's see, we have a little bit of jimping here on the flipper. It comes out a pretty good amount. I mean, not a crazy amount, but it does come out a pretty good amount. One thing I really love about this knife is that there's nothing on it. I really hate when I buy a firearm, especially a firearm, or a knife, and it's got like advertising on the idea of a billboard. They blast the name of the company all over it, and the blade steel, and like the name of the model, and God knows what else. There's nothing like that on this blade. It's just steel, just the way it's supposed to be. And then on this side, same thing. They let the work speak for themselves. They're not egomaniacs who have to have their name all over everything. They just put it in. Again, to use a coin reference, it kind of reminds me of when engravers make a new coin. Their initials are on it, but their initials don't overshadow the thing they're making. They don't put their initials on the top of George Washington's forehead. They don't do that. They put them in a very nondescript place, so that they get credit where credit's due. It's their creation, but it's not ruining the design. Now in this case, what Pro-Tech did, and I think it's very tasteful, is they put it right there. And unfortunately, I think you're gonna have trouble seeing that. Here we go. And that says Pro-Tech CPM 20 CV. So we have a really good, solid blade steel also. Good edge retention on that. Also very light. I believe it's about 3 ounces. So it's very, very light and not too big. So what I'm going to do is just take a few measurements here. You can probably get these on like Blade HQ or something, but you know what? You're here, so why don't I do it? So right here we have 0.12 inches. And then even right over here to the end, let's see. Still 0.12, then it tapers down, as you can tell, right there to the point. But what I like is that it tapers down to the point, it tapers down quite a bit, but it's still got some, nice thickness, so you don't have to worry you're gonna damage it anyway. The scale, well, the handle portion of it is 0.47 inches wide, and the part where your index finger goes is 0.89, and then it kind of slims down here to 0.80, so it tapers off pretty nicely. Let's see, the widest belly of the blade's 0.91 inches. Now the blade itself, if I remember correctly, is about 3.25. So let's take a quick measure on that. So let's see, yeah, it's about 3.25 inches. If you go right here to the part where it peaks up here, 3.25 inches, and overall we have, let's see, little over 7.5 inches. Actually, you know what? Right about 7.5 inches for the knife in total. And then the closed length. We have about 4.25 inches. So it's a very nice size for EDC. The only bad thing about it is if you live someplace where the blade length is 3 inches, this is 3.25. So that kind of stinks. And, it's funny because this Tonto blade, I really like this reverse Tonto blade quite a bit, because you have so much, cutting, like so much blade down here, and it's like a nice width and everything. Really cool. As far as complaints go, the action has really broken in quite a bit since I've gotten it. Not too long ago, actually. The only thing I would change on it, to be honest with you, is this Pro-Tech CPM 20CV. I would probably move that over here, like maybe a 1/2 inch, and put some jimping here. That's about the only thing that I think it's missing, because when I hold it and cut, I tend to not cut like this. I tend to cut like this. And I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a game breaker, a deal breaker, obviously, because I bought the knife and I like the knife quite a bit. But if I were putting it in, I just really like to see some jimping there. Even maybe just 1/4 to 1/2 inch would be cool. Right about here. That would be really great, especially since you have this stop where the flipper and this recessed area on the finger, it's just kind of like inviting your index finger to sit there. But, you're probably going to keep your thumb maybe forward of your index finger. At least when I use a knife, I tend to keep it about that 1/2 inch over. So that would have been really cool. Now, the handle, I do tend to like a little bit of texturing, and if they had one that did have the texturing, I probably would have bought that one. A couple of weeks ago, I purchased the Pro-Tech Runt 5, and the store owner, pulled out the Runt, and I really liked the Runt. And then he said, "Oh, I have this one here with texturing." And when I felt the one with the texturing, I said, "Yeah, I'll take this one." I think it was only about $10 more, but I really wanted the texturing, especially with the auto, because that's such a small handle. And if you've had a Pro-Tech, you know how they really kick when they come out. So I just wanted the texturing. Now, in a situation like this, it's not going to be jarring when it opens and closes, because it's a flipper. So I mean, it comes out very, very easily, but it doesn't fly out like the auto would kind of fire out at you. So you don't really need the texturing, but it's kind of a nice thing. It's kind of cool. And it's funny because I saw a review on this a while back, and it was being described as a gentleman's knife, which is kind of funny because I don't see myself as going for a gentleman's knife. I know some people like knives like this, the CRKT CEO, for that purpose. They said, "Oh, it's a nice knife if you have to bring it to work, and I guess you can put it in your pocket like looks like a pen or something." But that never really appealed to me, so it's kind of funny that I actually am interested in something that is a gentleman's knife. Now, on the plus side, I am shocked that I even have this, because I saw it at the store, I purchased it, and then out of curiosity, I wanted to see what kind of deal I got, because I thought I got a pretty good deal. I bought it for $200. And then I went to Blade HQ, GP Knives, Knife Center, DLT Trading, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and a couple places I never heard of, and they were sold out everywhere. every single place I checked was sold out of this knife. And I was kind of surprised. I'm like, wow, I'm really lucky I was able to land one of these now, because there's probably not that many in stock in various places. So then I went on eBay. And when I went on eBay, there were about 20 to 25 of these for sale. And the people who were selling this model, or the black version with the, I believe it's the Warncliffe blade, basically they're the same as far as price goes. You know, they're like the same, like they're like the entry level Malibu, let's call them. I saw people selling them for $275 plus shipping to about like $400. I was shocked. Now, of course, you know, is anybody going to buy them for that price? But the surprising thing is that some of the people had dozens and dozens of other people watching them. So if you're asking $300 for a $200 knife, I mean, you're sure you didn't sell it, but how many people sold it before you? And then the very fact that there were 65 people watching it, well, that kind of says something to me. I mean, if it had only been, you know, one or two people, I'd say, well, yeah, there's not that much demand at that price level. But the fact that 65 people are watching it tells me that there are some people who maybe wouldn't mind spending that kind of money on them. So I feel like I'm lucky I got it, for one thing, and I'm lucky I got it for a pretty fair price. So not too bad. So, like I said, this is not a review. I haven't used it. All I did was have fun and flip it. So I don't know how much stock you can put in that, but I was really excited, so I figured I'd make a quick video talking about it. And if you find one at a local knife shop, I would really encourage you to try it out if you're in the market for a flipper. I mean, the good thing is, depending on where you live, if you can't have an auto, you can probably have a manual flipper, so that's a good thing. If you are not subscribed, I really would appreciate it if you would. And liking the video is always good if you do like it. So, again, I appreciate it. Have a good one. I will see you later.